All right, and we're live. Howdy, how's it going? We're trying this new setup. I'm recording this on the Zoom app, which I have been using to teach people about the magic of folding Islamic patterns, right? Instead of making them with compass and straight edge. So let's see how this works. So I'm going to teach you how to make, first and foremost, something called a pentagon, a five-fold division polygon, right? From here on, you can spring several patterns. So we're going to do this video in two parts. First part involves us making a pentagon. So to make a pentagon first, we need to make a square. The pentagon is located within the square. So I'm just gonna fold very lightly. Very, very lightly. Because I don't want my diagonal line to be present. I just want my square. So I'm just gonna crease at that point of contact. Fold back like so. See how then I creased that where that matched. I put it down, I pivot it, get it to fall right there, and then I'm listening to some music in my headphones just to get in the groove. Music that I'm almost, second nature. In this case, it's three songs called Disposition, Reflection, and Triad by Tool. Right in my headphones right now. So that's also going to help me keep track of time. So I'm going to cut this away. Pretty basic, right? You could actually skip this step if you already have a square, It's the case for a lot of origami folders, right? You just get squares right inside of little packets. But I'm going to use this big one because I need to cover the most of the camera. So as you can see for this part right here, let me just move this up a little bit. Here we go. I'm going to need to hold it in position and sort of pinch, squeeze, and tear. And take away all that's excess. Beautiful. So it's a very messy square, but it's a square nonetheless. Okay, cool. So now we're going to fold this in half. I'm going to use the edges I haven't cut just to keep things in a nice sort of fashion. So I have a nice fold in half, and now the method I'm going to show you today is sort of an optimization from this one I got in a book. I can't remember the title of the book right now, but it's a Japanese book, so it's very interesting. It's full of designs, it's full of magic, that book. And by the end of it, it starts going into these polygonal constructions, and they have this way of getting it. But the way they got it involves like 5 steps, and there's a lot of construction lines. But I found that there was actually this very neat, very, powerful relationship going on. And well, their construction and this optimization of it involves the bisection of this angle and this angle and their intersection. So that means that we have a 2 units to 1, right? Because this is a square, we fold it in half. So this is half of this. So we're just going to call this our new unit length. No, sorry, this is our unit length. So this is double that. So this is 2. This diagonal of it is √5, right? Because of the Pythagorean theorem. And so we have the √5. We put one edge onto that √5 line. So this is a √5 line. Oh shit. Excuse me. Gotta be more careful with this. There we go. So we fold onto the √5 line, and then we fold again. So that's the 1 line onto the √5, and then the 2 line onto the √5. As you can see, the paper is getting burned a little bit from the light from the outside. So I'm going to try and close the blinds and see if that helps. Luckily, the blind shade thing is right beneath me, beside me, so I don't have to move that much. Looks way better. Now the light is coming from behind. It makes it more shadows, but at least the paper doesn't burn. The whiteness doesn't burn. Now I'm going to take out my pencil here. Where is my pencil? Well, Can't find the pencil, but I have a pen, but now it's too permanent. Sometimes I put it in my ear. It's not there today. Well, we have a pencil. So the point I've selected is the intersection of this line and this line. They hit right there. And now what we want to do is have a perpendicular line at that point. And the way we do that is, well, it helps to have that little point marked. And I'm going to turn the paper over, and then I'm going to fold it in such a way that I can tell where the intersection occurs. So I see this line coming down and I see this line coming down. See that? And I'm going to stop my fold right where those two lines meet. I can see a little bit of that point coming out, and just make sure that it's matching on this side and it's matching on that side, right? So boop. Just open it. And actually it helps to have that fold happen both ways, because then I can sort of fold on the other lines and actually see if it matches, right? If it pivots around that point, and if it does this effect that you're seeing now, then I'm correct. It's a little of an overreach, but the way that the Japanese do it, the people in this book, it's not like the people in the book are a country. And now that I'm looking at it, it could use a little fixer, but it's fine. It's like so little, so very, very little off, but it's so small. It's not even, but yeah, there's actually like a better way. And by that, I mean more rigorous way, but that's good enough. It really is good enough. So now I'm going to copy exactly this onto my other side. And before I go on, let me just show you this other paper I have with the explanation, how they do it. So instead of doing all this bisection thing that I showed you, they have their square, they fold it in half, they do their diagonal line, the root 5. And then what they say is, well, I'm going to take my 1, I'm going to put it on the root 5, and then I'm going to crease that so that I know where, you see that? Where this line hits. So therefore, I have this by congruency. This segment of line is the same as this line. So 1 and 1, and so because the whole thing is root 5, then from here on out, it's root 5 minus 1. And then what they say is that, well, you take your 2 line, you put it on that root 5 line, and then you crease on that reference of 1. And when you unfold, you have this little channel thing happening where it hits and then falls down like that. And so at this point, then you take the vertex of your square and then you fold it down onto it like this. And the fold will go right through this point, which is the intersection we just built. So even though this is more rigorous and actually demonstrates why this works, it still is a lot of mess. And we want as less a mess as possible. So we extract the information we need, which is that point, and that's good enough for us. We just have to keep that in mind. This is the demonstration of it, the proof, if you will. We put that aside, take away this pencil from the shot. And so we have this line that we just constructed right at this point. Fold back, fold in, and fold back out. On the song, we're just the beginning of the singing in reflection. Just keep you posted. So what we have here is failure to communicate, and also the edge of a pentagon. So these 2 points are the vertices of pentagon. So what this construction allows is that all the vertices that can touch the square are touching the square. So 4 vertices are going to be touching the square. What that means is that if we had a compass and we were to take this value and sort of rotate it around so that it hits the edge, where this value hits the edge is going to be the next vertex. So what I do is I take this, I align it to my line. I'm not folding. I just sort of make sure that my fold is originating from that point. I got it there, and then I shift it. I put it on the edge of the square, as you can see. Make sure that it touches. And then I start folding, and I stop the folds. Wait, so I got to make sure that that line actually is originating from the same line, from the same point, from that point, from this particular point where this line touches the edge. That's very important. So I make sure that I'm not folding completely. I'm just making sure that the fold goes through this middle line here. And then I unfold, I take this out, see? So I don't want no overlap. I just want a straight line, that's all I need. So again, I refold the line. Actually, we can do that without this overlap, but I like to do that so I can actually see and then refold, because if you fold it without the fold, you can still do this little trick and still get the effect, you see. I have to take out the light a little bit there. Maybe I do need to close the blind a little bit more. The sun is very unstable today. There we go. A little less burn, a little more shadow. So anyway, this line goes through a vertex and actually hits the center of our pentagon. So we're gonna do this trick I call mirroring. So for mirroring, basically what's happening is that the folds become concepts, and we need them to be different in order to be distinguished. So you can think of this in many ways. I like to think of it as though it were light and though it were a mirror. So one fold is going to be the ray of light, and the other fold is going to be the mirror from which it bounces off. So I'm going to draw in green the ray of light. I need to sharpen this screen, but... And now I'm going to draw in red the mirror line. This one I'm going to draw all the way. Oh boy, I really need to sharpen these. And this, kids, is why you prepared before. So basically, what I want to do is have this green line, which is not really visible. It's alive. I want to have this green line bounce off. So I have the green line in a valley. I have the red line in a mountain. First fold is the ray of light. Second fold, well, I'm marking it in red because it's the same line as just the other side, so we don't get confused, right? And then we fold the mirror line. So we fold the mirror line, and then complete the fold, the mirror line fold, and then just bring it all down, just like by its own weight. Here I'm doing a little arranging because it didn't fall properly, but if you do it right, it should fall properly. And just making sure that these match, right? As you can see, my light is bouncing. Actually follows in the theory of light and how it bounces off of mirrors. I now extend this and make sure that that line also hits my edge of the square. You know, that's important over here. It's a little off, so I need to pivot it around to make sure that it's right. Whatever the price, whatever the cost, needs to be right, right? By the way, I'm going slow so I can, you know, so you can do it yourself. Otherwise, I don't know. Sometimes it takes longer than other times, but yeah. So we've got this. So now what we want to do, even though we got incomplete, we want to fold it like so. Something we already have, we just extended that line, right? And then here, you take this hinge and fold it down. And if you're doing it right, again, this point should hit the edge of the square. We fold down. We fold down because if we had it folded back and then we want to fold the other one, it's going to pull. And we don't want no pull. We don't want no resistance. So if we don't want no resistance, we got to be cautious. We got to preventive. Proactive, not reactive, right? So now I have both hinges active, and that allows us to have that be exclusive. Now we can sort of pivot around this triangle. We have the fox face, if you will. And now what we do is we open this up and we take this down And we're going to use the fox face, if you will, the edge of that as a reference. And also, like this line I'm folding here on my left hand, this is my left hand, it's going straight down. There's no nothing. It's just, that fold is already there. This fold right here that I'm folding, look, it's part of this. So that fold we already got. So it should be like some kind of reactive fold. It should be like an interaction fold. And now what I do is I use this line, which is the other one. And this right here is my mirror line, the center line. And then I fold it down like so. And then fold to one way. Hard to believe that the paper's still getting burned. I might need to do some color correction on this. There's no real lights entering. Oh, that's much better. No, still some burning there. Well, it is white, so it is very reflective. Anyway, so we got this, and because there's 5 flaps to this, so if we did it correctly, everything should line up. These edges fall on themselves, and we have 5. So there's 2 right here on my left hand, and 2 right here on my right. And there's 1 on the back. And you can sort of like shift around. So what we want to do is we want to take, well, have 3 on one hand and 2 on the other hand. The hand that we have 3 on, we set it down on this face, the one that I call this the bald. So this is already cut. It has no excess. This one is short hair. And we fold this guy down. See, the thing about learning on your own is that you always have silly names for things. That's the curse of the self-taught person. You take it back like so. Then because we have 3 on this side, I take now the back, see that? Boom, boom, back. And then I can do this, and then I shave this guy. And by shaving, I mean just fold it down so that it's lined up with the bald one, with the one that has no excess, which is this one. If we had an X-Acto knife, we could just cut everything off. Everything could just as well be gone forever. But see, now we have those. I somehow start to see it come together. But this is the part where I really, really like. Something that I find very sort of counterintuitive, and when I discovered it, it blew my mind. Because this happens also in a hexagon. When you do a hexagon on the biggest possible hexagon on a rectangle, this sort of thing happens as well. But you're gonna take the remaining edge and simply align it on the radius. The other one as well. You can do it overlapping, but I prefer to do it one by one. Like so, and then this one down. I'll turn it over, and boom. We got a pentagon. And this is a properly constructed pentagon. I really appreciate this construction. So just, yeah, we're pretty much done. But if you will indulge me a few minutes further, I'm just going to cut it away. This should take a minute. And regarding the song I'm listening to, we're at Triad now, the 3rd song in the series. And Denny Carey's just rocking out. So, you know, it actually might happen that this video is as long as those 3 songs. So if you want a nice background to what I'm feeling, you can open up a new tab and just look for that combination, the disposition, reflection, triad. You're gonna get a feel for what I'm hearing. Might be too distracting, but hey, I've listened to that song so many times that it's just second nature right now. So as you can see, I'm folding it both ways, right? I was folding one way and then I do the other side and then actually fold as well. Drive my nail in real hard. Oh, you see that I went a little further in. That's okay. Happy accidents, right? We're approaching the end. You can see how these folds that we already had make a perpendicular line. Almost like a rectangle. So that was also an option. So we could have just taken this and where it hit this line, we could have made a very special rectangle, which we could have used to make Islamic patterns and whatnot. But, you know, a pentagon is really cool. I folded this in the morning in a Zoom class. This one was a little off. No, this pentagon is a little off, but it's because I did one of my divisions wrong and it sort of like mucked the whole thing up. And then what I did, you can go over that in another video. You can also subscribe to my Patreon channel and you'll get access to all the Zoom classes. So I'm going to be putting that up there. So then I took a lot of time and sort of then folded the weave, which interestingly enough was aligned to the middle point. So as you can see, that point right there, that's the center of the paper. Now the song is coming to an end, so this video is coming to an end. Thank you very much. Hope you learned something, had fun, and we'll catch you around in the next one. Bye-bye, and I'll see you later. Thank you.